Lahori or lunch mein, the lunch always wins, right? Between a lecture on artificial intelligence and lunch, I'm sure lunch gets a bigger priority. होना भी चाहिए. I would have done the same thing. Anyway, if anybody is interested, we can talk about AI. So artificial intelligence basically is having a computer system जो systems और machines को इस काबिल बना देता है कि वो human like act करें, and human traits generally being learning and reasoning and perception and problem solving, etc. There are two different main types of artificial intelligence. One is capability based and the other one which we call functionality based. Within capability based, जो typical example हैं, they are narrow or weak AI, which is having a virtual private assistants. And on the other side, what the most popular one over here is what we call ChatGPT, जो एक super intelligent AI है, which means not only it can learn quickly, but it can also generate answers. And then there's a third kind of capability base, which we call strong or general or strong AI. And that is AI which can learn, think, and act to the levels of human intelligence. That AI does not exist. It only exists in the movies these days. But we are getting there. We are getting there. And then there are another category of artificial intelligence systems that we call functionality-based AI. For instance, there's something called reactive machines. Reactive machines आपने बहुत सारी देखी होंगी. Netflix के अंदर जब आप जाते हो and you choose 2 or 3 different channels and then it starts suggesting to you. या YouTube के अंदर you start getting suggestions. So based on our usage, the system reacts and suggests something to you. That's also artificial intelligence, and they are called reactive machines. Then there's something called theory of mind AI. Theory of mind means जो हमारी cognitive ability होती है, where it actually reacts to emotions. Where a computer system ना सिर्फ ये देखे, and humans are very complex. Intelligence is very complex. So human beings being, the system being able to not only read what you're writing, not only see your picture, but actually understand your feelings. कि इसको कितना गुस्सा चढ़ा हुआ है, कितने खुश है ये. So जैसे theory of AI की बड़ी interesting example है कि अगर आपका बेटा फ्रिज का दरवाजा खोल के खड़ा हुआ है, तो you would automatically say कि इसे भूख लगी हुई है. And that requires cognition. There is nothing in it. उसके action से आपने उसकी emotion को judge किया. And that is the theory of artificial intelligence. Then there's limited memory AI, where आप real time में चीजें move कर रही हैं. Robotics में अभी हमने भी recently एक Germany में project खत्म किया है exactly on this, which had limited memory AI, जो ऐसे आपकी self-driving cars हैं, where the system is moving, it is looking at in real time, it is seeing what's happening, and based on the memory of specific events, it reacts and acts like a human being. And then of course there is something called a self-aware AI. Self-aware machines होती हैं where they can actually learn of their own existence. For those interested in Star Wars, जैसे data to some extent था. Those again are a work of fiction. They don't exist these days. But we are getting there. Actually, there are very interesting trials in my alma mater, the university I went to, जहाँ पे वो self-aware systems के ऊपर कर रहे हैं. They've done some very interesting experiments. If anybody is interested, we can discuss those in detail. So what is generative AI? आज का topic is about generative AI, और यही आजकल बड़ा I would say in है, ChatGPT को इस्तेमाल करना and all that. Generative AI means it's form of artificial intelligence जो learn करे and then it generates something, a text, a video or something कुछ आपको output करके दे. So एक learned system हो. So what does this generative AI आजकल जो सबसे मशहूर है, we'll take that example, which is ChatGPT. Now how many people actually know what GPT stands for? सब ChatGPT सुबह शाम कहते हैं, सब लोग generative AI कहते हैं, पर आज तक बहुत कम लोगों को शायद ये मालूम हो कि GPT होता क्या है. So GPT में पहला जो G है, that stands for generative, which means it generates data. कुछ physical चीज output देता है. Then P stands for pre-trained. The word pre-training is very important because it comes to you not only as learned, as ability to learn, but it comes pre-trained and it's learned to your specific need. Flip side ये है, if you ask them anything जिस पे वो pre-trained नहीं है, you will get an incorrect answer. So the pre-training bit is very important. And the third is a slightly technical word, which is called transformer. The word transformer means that it can take in data, process in a certain architecture. एक होता है, it's called neural network architecture. I'll show you कि ChatGPT अंदर से क्या लगता है. The next slide will actually show you what AI looks like. और डेटा को और इंफॉर्मेशन को इस तरीके से स्ट्रक्चर कर सके that it can go back, not only it can relearn and add more data into it, but it can also generate answers very quickly. So let's see what ChatGPT looks like. So the way it works is, I'm sorry, I think because of the pixelation it's not visible. These systems जो ChatGPT के हैं, the way it works is it has these algorithms जो with time ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा enrich करते जाते हैं. So even if it gives an answer incorrectly one time, it goes back, learns it and brings it back to you. So this is what an AI system looks like. अगर किसी ने न्यूरॉन्स का सिस्टम सुना है, दिस इज व्हाट अ न्यूरल नेटवर्क लुक्स लाइक. न्यूरॉन्स का सिस्टम सुना है तो वो भी ऐसे होते हैं. व्हाट दीज नंबर्स मीन एट द एंड आर समथिंग कॉल्ड ट्रेनेबल पैरामीटर्स. व्हाट दे आर, शुरू में दीज आर 5 क्वेश्चंस. दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी सिंपल थिंग. चैट जीपीटी के अंदर ये लाखों होते हैं. सो व्हाट दीज लुक्स लाइक, दीज आर द फर्स्ट 5 क्वेश्चंस. वो 5 क्वेश्चंस आर देन ट्रांसलेटेड इनटू वेरियस लेयर्स ऑफ एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. और उसके बाद आपकी दूसरी साइड पे 3 आउटपुट्स होती हैं. ये सिर्फ 5 सवाल हमने पूछे हैं. और सवाल किस किस्म के होते हैं? आई नीड टू शवल स्नो. यू नीड अ शवल टू क्लीन स्नो. अ कार इज फॉर ड्राइविंग, राइट? सो ये 4-5 सवाल बेसिक क्वेश्चंस हैं. एंड देन यू क्रिएट दैट लेवल ऑफ एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. और उसके बाद उसे 3 आउटपुट्स निकल आती हैं. In case of ChatGPT and all that, your transformative, ये लाखों के तादाद पे होते हैं. And it learns very quickly. And the way it works is you take generic data, you take generic data, very simple generic data, you train your system, you transfer that learning into a finely tuned system, जिसमें domain specific data होगा. तो finance वालों के पास finance specific data आएगा. Slowly we are going into what inside the ChatGPT comes in. So this is where we say it is pre-trained. How does it work? The reason it works is, the reason ChatGPT works is, it takes care of huge data sets to begin with. अगर आपने, for those of you who are familiar with ChatGPT, वो कहते हैं 2021 से पहले हमने सारा डेटा ले लिया. And the reason it's here today is the natural evolution of our information systems. Internet for the first time digitized a lot of data. So your things like Wikipedia, your things like Reddit, a lot of information was available. So now your AI systems, which were actually developed, neural networks is a 70s technology. ये जो आपने देखा ये technology 70 की थी. There wasn't enough digital data for it to learn. So now ChatGPT में जैसे वो कहते हैं, we've learned everything before 2021. So 2021 से पहले जो इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम में अवेलेबल थी, डिजिटल थी, उसने एब्जॉर्ब की और वो न्यूरल नेटवर्क बनाया जिसमें हमने 5 सवाल पूछे थे, उसमें 5 करोड़ सवाल है, बिलियंस ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. देन द स्मार्ट आर्किटेक्चर मेड श्योर दैट इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो डिफरेंट टास्क के लिए स्पेसिफिक करे. और फिर हमने उनको इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक, नॉलेज स्पेसिफिक डेटा सेट्स दे के फाइन ट्यून कर लिया. फॉर इंस्टेंस, नाउ हाउ इज इट रेलेवेंट टू अकाउंटेंट्स? अकाउंटिंग, अगर आप, जो मैंने एज बिग ऑफ एन अकाउंटेंट एज आई एम, इफ आई लुक एट, इट हैज बीन एन एवोल्यूशनरी प्रोसेस. AI is new, but is not something, a transformative experience जो accounting as a profession ने पहले नहीं देखा. Abacus was a major innovation. So was a calculator. So was Excel. And Excel आज तक इस्तेमाल करें. So was, imagine if you had an accountant who doesn't know Excel. How many of us would hire him? How many of us would work for him? Now imagine somebody who doesn't know how to use an ERP. How useful it is to the rest of us. Using the same path, imagine an accountant who doesn't know how to use a generative AI. That is the next step. So for the young people here, please learn that. Going forward, knowing this would be just as important as knowing SAP, as knowing Excel, or learning how to use a calculator. You do not have a choice. It's as simple as that. मेजर इंपैक्ट कहां पे आएगा? जो तो रूडिमेंट्री टास्क हैं, टास्क लाइक ऑटोमेटेड डेटा एंट्री. Accountants should no longer be looking at data entry as a job. Invoice processing. So simple, mundane, repeatable tasks would be taken over by the system, by AI. Forecasting and predictive analysis. That's very interesting. We are right now working on a system where हम companies के internal data ले रहे हैं. We are putting on an OpenAI based architecture on top of it and enabling people कि वो अपनी सारी report, सारी heuristics उस AI से पूछें. So not only will AI tell you what you are doing, आपके financial reports, like balance sheets, P&L, you don't need to go to a system and run a report and get that out, but it can also give you a bit of prediction based on the knowledge of what the rest of the world is doing. Now that is something, the role of accountants and finance people will be more and more analytical. Fraud detection in case of audit. Now we have all these controls set up in systems, very sophisticated ones. A lot of it would become automated. And AI would be the tool which would be looking over at all times 24/7 every transaction, and it will be able to do it very, very efficiently. Cash flow optimization, internal auditing, all of these functions will invariably change. Compliance monitoring is another one. And with this, if you link it to blockchain, now imagine a system where if a certain tax policy changes in a certain country, automatically your systems are updated. And you're fully compliant at all times. And you don't need to hire consulting companies like ours, or you don't need to hire hotshot IT people to change that. It changes automatically because the reality has changed. AI invariably has a lot of limitations. जैसे कि मैंने आपको trained system का बताया, it's like any intelligent human being, right? It has the first and biggest problem is biases. Invariably, if your data is biased, your outcome would also be biased, like any education system. अगर हम लोग 70s की हिस्ट्री अपने लोगों को नहीं बताएंगे तो हमारे बच्चों को वो हिस्ट्री नहीं पता होगी. इसी तरह AI को अगर आप ट्रेन नहीं करेंगे करेक्टली, it will give you incorrect data. So the biases in the data need to be corrected. There was a certain experiment done in the United States in Toyma in HR, where they said कि जब AI से उन्होंने shortlisting की तो invariably white men came out because सारे questions जो थे they were biased. Who is a good employee? The biasness was towards white male males in America. So automatically data invariably उधर आ गया. जब उन्होंने अच्छे computer science वालों को किया तो invariably a lot of people from South Asia came out. So the data invariably was biased. So अगर वो biasness आप data में ख़त्म नहीं करेंगे तो automatically system will give you incorrect. And so you have to be very careful in generative AI, the results that it gives you, what are the biases and how biased it is. And with time you need to go back and tell it कि यार you need to fix these biases. Identifying sources of data नहीं पता चलता. So when AI gives you an answer, especially when it gives prediction, it is very hard to tell how it came with that output. Because it's very difficult to know what were the sources of the prediction. What are the sources of the... So अगर वो sources incorrect हैं या झूठे हैं, तो it can spread a lot of hatred, it can spread a lot of lies. And that is a problem जिसकी अभी social implications हम दुनिया में देख भी रहे हैं, और इसके business implications are huge. And you can trick an AI system. And now, invariably, what I foresee is a competition between two AI systems. मेरी कंपनी का AI system आपकी कंपनी के AI system को गलत डेटा फीड करेगा. एक कंट्री का AI system दूसरी कंपनी के AI system को गलत information फीड करेगा, fear, uncertainty और doubt create करेगा. It's just a matter of time if it's not happening already. It is very difficult to identify incorrect data because there is so much data that the system जिसके ऊपर बेस करके अपना outcome दे रहा है, it's very difficult, almost impossible to find out that in the entire realm of that data, अगर Wikipedia के ऊपर कोई गलत information है, if there's something wrong on Wikipedia that the system is basing its outcome on, it will be incorrect, whether we like it or not. It's very hard to identify that. So at that point in time, it's very important for your financial data, just don't believe in the beginning everything that it's saying. Go back and do your own analysis. So the concept of digital twins is very important. Do your own work and let your twin do that work as well. And then have a look what you and your twin come out with. Or understand the reason. If some AI system is saying, you know, this is the answer, try to figure out the logic why it's reasoning that. And that is where I say that jaise Excel ne logon ki jobs khatam nahi ki. Calculator made sure that people still have jobs. ERPs, there was a lot of fear that people are going to lose jobs because of ERPs. Now there's a big fear that AI is going to make everybody redundant. Nothing's going to happen. Your job is going to get more analytical. It is not going to change. If anything, I believe it will increase productivity to such a level that we'll actually have more jobs. Yes, there will be some shifts, but those will be people who are doing basically transactional work. So brainiac work will continue. And AI has a major issue, which is adaptability to new circumstances. Because a lot of the knowledge is based on historical patterns, if there is a new thing that comes out which is not in those nodes, on which it has not been trained, you will get an incorrect answer. And that is true to some extent with humans also. But humans are a lot smarter. Natural intelligence beats artificial intelligence at all times. Thank you very much.